Hey, how are you doing, everybody? Happy Wednesday. You're tuning in for episode 10 of the Wellness Wednesday series found on our page. I'm joined this morning by my good friend and colleague, Elyse Petterson of Perpetual Motion Performance Training. Their boutique training studio in Walnut Creek specializes in high-intensity interval training as well as foundation training. Now, as a personal trainer, Elyse works with a lot of people who are attempting to strengthen postures and working on motor movement and control. And today she's kindly joined me to demonstrate what she sees with the most problems with a squat movement and how to fix it. Elyse?
Yeah, so a squat is one of the most important things that you can work on, namely because squatting means that you can come up and off of a chair easily. That's huge. That means that you have mobility. It often is the thing that leads people into having to go into a care home, is not being able to get up and down properly. So this is a really, really important movement. The thing that I see going wrong most is just kind of a little kneeling down thing. When we ask someone to do a squat, their knees come forward, sometimes their back rounds, and that's not a safe movement, especially if you think about a chair being behind you. What we're trying to do is strengthen the posterior chain, strengthen the glute muscles, the hamstrings, and have your weight in the heels. So when you come down into a squat, you want to think my knees aren't going to go past my toes, my hips are going to go back, I'm going to keep my gaze and chest up. So that's a good squat right there. If you have trouble with getting your thighs fairly parallel, what you want to do is find something to give you a little feedback. A chair is perfect, or a bench like we have here. So you would just set that up, put your feet about hip width, and then just come back and come back up. You can set that as high or as low as you want. But again, a squat is just a super important thing to work on. It's one of the basics, but it's going to really make you feel strong and able.
So, Elyse, a question that I commonly get in the office is, when I'm doing a squat motion or if I'm doing anything with a bend in the legs, it can trigger some low back pain or some soreness. For someone who's having low back pain while doing a squat, what are they probably doing wrong?
My guess is normally it would be some sort of rounding in the back. So like I showed at the beginning, when you have this kind of rounding happening, also people will tend to have the weight in the balls of their feet forward, and that can really trigger the low back. So you want to think about weight in the heels, sending the hips back and keeping the chest up rather than letting your back round and having your weight be forward in the fronts of your feet.
Awesome. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll link the link to the gym website here below. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Dan.